to start out, I've popped in a red contact into my left eye and flattened my right eyebrow, and I'll leave a link below to my brow block tutorial if you want to see how I cover my brows. And I have this little strap of kind of costume pleather fabric because I thought I could use it to cover my eye in case I didn't want to keep it closed, but I ended up not doing that. So I did use this as a guide for where I actually wanted that strap to be on my face. So I'm just outlining that using a brow pencil. Then I'm using that same pencil to rough out the rest of the mask outline, and I am using a reference photo, and I would definitely recommend using one. I also made a face chart for this look so that I had a better idea of where everything would hit on my face, since his face is a little bit shorter than mine. And then I decided to draw on the bolts that he has on either side of his neck as well. I'm creating a fairly expressive mouth shape by curving it up at the top for like a snarly look. And then I also lined out from the corners of my mouth where the zipper was going to be so that I knew how far out I wanted that little smile to go. Then for the side that's not going to be covered by the mask, I'm using a black body paint to fill in my brow. You could also use a brow pencil, an eyeliner, or brow gel, or whatever you have. Then with a black eyeliner, I'm blacking out that top lash line and bringing it out into kind of a smudgy wing, and also down along the lower lash line, just kind of a smudgy look. This is optional, but I just wanted to darken up the eye. And then I'm not curling my lashes, but I applied a couple coats of black mascara. And now I'm just filling in the entire mask area with a black body paint. This is the Mehron Paradise Paint in black. I'm applying this using the Sigma FX3, which is a flat, about 1 inch brush, and I'm leaving a little tiny space between the eye patch area just so that I know where that separation is. And since I've been dealing with some sneezy allergies, I'm leaving it my nose area blank for right now. So originally I outlined kind of a thinner neck since I drew the bolts on, but I ended up just filling in the entire neck back up to my hairline with black, and I'm just taking that down to the bottom of my neck. And then also I decided that I needed my bolts to be a little bit fatter, so I'm just taking a baby wipe to wipe away some of that black paint. So now that we have the basic mask shape, I'm using a baby wipe again to wipe away some of the product where I want the highlights to go. I'm then applying a white cream makeup to those areas. You could also use a white body paint for this. I'm out at the moment, so I'm using this Mehron Creamblend stick, and I'm applying this using the Sigma FX8. And this has 2 different fiber lengths, so you can get this nice wispy effect when you just use the tip of the brush. I'm then going in with a gray cream makeup on a fluffy brush and just stippling that onto the highlight areas. Following the gray, I'm going back in with the black on my Sigma E11, and I'm just wisping that in from the outer edges and also blending it a little bit with my finger just to bring the highlight in and to soften it up a little bit. And I'm going to do that same thing to all the highlight areas. Then to help camouflage my nose a little bit better, I'm taking a matte black eyeshadow and I'm just really packing that on to that highlighted area of the cheek that's still a little bit shiny from the paint. And then I'm applying the leftover from the brush just to any areas that I want to make a little bit more matte or to darken it up. I'm then applying that gray cream color to each of the bolts, and then down the center of each, I'm just painting a thin black line. I'm then going back in with my black eyeliner, applying that along the top lash line as well as the lower waterline and tight line. Then I decided I wanted to add some more of the wispy lines out from the highlights, so I'm going back in with the gray cream color on the Sigma FX8 to do that, and I'm also going to use my finger to help blend things out as well. I'm then going in with the NYX Prismatic Shadow in the shade Tin, which is just a silver metallic shade, and I'm applying that to the bolts, and then I'm going back in with the black body paint to redefine the black line, and I'm also going to round out each of the corners. Then going back to the gray cream color, I'm going to start adding in the details of the eye patch. So I just started out by defining the outline, and then I'm creating an X in the center of the eye patch. And the way that I decided to do this was to create some V's around the center using the gray cream makeup and leave the black X in the center, which sounds kind of confusing. You could also start out with this being a full gray square and then just creating your X in the center with the black paint. That might be easier. I just like to make things hard. Then once I'm done with that, I'm going back in with the black to just help define everything. Then I decided I needed to add some highlight down the center of the neck piece, so I'm just following the same steps I did with the other highlights, except I didn't use the baby wipe to take off the paint prior to applying the highlight. Going back to the silver eyeshadow, I'm applying that to the highlight areas to both help set the cream makeup as well as add a little bit of shine. I'm then using the white cream makeup to create the little hole for the lace to go through on the nose piece. I'm using the black paint to really define that circle and then taking that lace down about halfway into that little circle. To help bring the mask to life a little more, I'm going back in with that gray cream makeup and just adding some smaller highlight details around the edges of the mask. And then I'll also be using a medium brown eyeshadow around the outside edges of the mask to create some shading so it looks like it's a little bit up off of our face, so it's not just sitting completely flat on our face. In the nose area, I'm building that shadow up so that it's a little bit darker because that part would be the most raised off of our face. Then once I'm done with the shading, I'm going back in with the black to just re-darken around the edges. So now we're going to finish off with the mouth area, and I'm using the same white cream makeup for the teeth. Again, you could use a white body paint, but I'm just using a small flat shadow brush to press on where I want the teeth. And once I have them on the top lip, I'm just pressing my lips together to transfer them down onto the bottom lip, and then just continuing straight out with the rest of the teeth. I'm then using a red body paint to start filling in the gum area. I'm starting to blend that down toward the teeth, but I'm not totally filling that in. I'm going to outline them first using the black body paint on my Sigma E11, and then once I've done that, I'm going to go back in and finish filling in with the red. And as I'm outlining these, I'm defining them into points at the top and then carefully cleaning up with the white if needed. So now I'm going back in with the red to fill in all the way up to the outlines, and the red will mix a little bit with the black, which is totally fine for this look because we don't need it to be completely even red. And then I'm also taking the red just slightly onto those very outer teeth, and then since I used a cream makeup, I am using a translucent powder to help set it. I'm then creating the zipper using the gray cream makeup, and I'm just applying that down the center of all the teeth, and I am applying it a little bit on the top lip as well as the bottom lip, and I'm trying to make this as straight across as possible. I'm then creating the little zipper handle on the right end, and then I'm outlining that using the black body paint on the Sigma E11, and I'm also using that to create several teeny tiny vertical lines all the way across the zipper for the teeth. The zipper teeth. I'm then using a black eyeshadow to create some shading on the inside of the mouth, and then once I've done that, I'm just going back in and re-darkening those black lines and then adding some of the silver highlights around the outside edge. Those last few steps with the shading and then adding the highlights around is really going to help make this expression pop so it looks more dimensional. And then this wig I ordered off of Amazon, and I had to cut it a lot. But it kind of turned out pretty perfect, I think. All of the wigs that I looked at had such mixed reviews, so I just went with this one because, let's be honest, it was the cheapest, and I actually do really like the texture of the hair. So I will leave the link down below if you guys are interested in this wig, and then I just threw on a black track jacket, and we're good to go. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe for lots more tutorials in October. I hope that you guys are excited for Halloween because I know I am, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.